So I am at the end of my real estate career. I started in 2009 during a recession, and I am ending in 2022 during a recession. I closed down my business last week. My house is on the market. As you can see from my other videos, I've gotten a contract on it. We got through inspections and the appraisal. And in this video, I'm going to talk about that experience and how you can avoid the anxiety that comes along with the inspection period and the appraisal period when you're selling your house. Hi, my name is Joel Y. I was a real estate agent in the state of Kansas. I guess I still am for another 19 days. For 13 years now, and I've made quite a bit of money doing it by selling people's houses for them. And that's one of the reasons I started this channel, so I could show you how easy it really is, and you can save your own money and maybe go on vacation. And please subscribe to this channel by hitting that subscribe button below. This isn't the kind of channel where people come to again and again and it amasses subscribers and likes and everything. People just come here once, maybe twice to learn how to sell their house themselves. And when you subscribe, it helps other people to find it so they too can save thousands of dollars selling their house themselves, just like you're gonna do. So soon we will be moving to Europe. We're gonna spend a couple months down in Mexico so I can surf and just go check out the sites down there, maybe head down to Central America for a little bit. And then I'm going to start another channel about our travels and our adventures in Mexico and Europe. I'm not sure what it's going to be called yet. Maybe something like an expat in Europe via Mexico. I don't know, but I'll deal with that later. For now, we had our inspections. I have a video here that talks about how you can survive the home inspection, and it's really beneficial for you to watch that. I went ahead and went through the whole process so I could experience it because I've never experienced it on this end, selling a house. I've experienced it hundreds and hundreds of times for my buyers when we were buying a house from somebody and we went through the inspection period. One of the ways that you can avoid the anxiety is to do a pre-inspection, and then you post that pre-inspection to your potential buyers, and that means that you've disclosed everything wrong with the house. Of course, you can fix anything major that comes up, and you can save money by fixing it ahead of time so your buyer doesn't like ask for a specific way for it to be fixed or to be fixed by a contractor or whatever. A pre-inspection, again, it discloses everything that's wrong with the house. So you're basically handing that inspection report to somebody. It'll cost you somewhere between $300 and $500 in the Kansas area, and I would imagine around that in the rest of the country. But it's a really good idea so you don't have any surprises. Well, we had a couple surprises. We spent a lot of time, as we've talked about, getting the house ready for market, which is super important. And we made the house really, really nice, spectacular even. We spent a few $1,000s in the process, but it was worth every penny of it. Now, the people that are in contract on our house, we've heard that they're just totally in love with it and they'll do anything to keep it, to stay in contract. So we're not that worried about it. Well, they did their inspection, and two of the things that came up, this is how good a condition the house was in. The only two things that came up were radon. Radon, I'm going to talk about radon later in this video, but the radon came in a little bit high and they asked to have it mediated, so I went ahead and did it. And the crown to the chimney, now this is a modern house. You can see my chimney right here. I mean my fireplace right there. So it's a modern, type fireplace. And the crown, the part that goes on top of the chase, the metal part that goes on top of the chase, and that the chimney comes up out of, well, it was old and it had a couple little rust spots on it. It's still good for many, 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 many years, but it came up in their inspection and, well, I went ahead and replaced it because they asked me to. Total thing, it cost me about $1,300 to do all that. Now, let's go over radon for a minute. Radon is a gas. You can Google it to learn more about it. I'm not going to get into all the ins and the outs and the dangers and then whatever about it. You can Google it. But the government says that if radon gets above a certain amount, then it's dangerous. It can possibly cause lung cancer. And of course, it kind of reminds me of the 90s when the whole mold thing came up. Of course, mold is dangerous. We all know that. But once 60 Minutes did an expose on mold in homes, man, if you found just the smallest little trace of something that could have looked like mold, the house was, the deal was about to fall apart and the house had to be mediated and everything else. And a lot of companies made a lot of money scaring people about mold. Well, the same thing's happening with radon now. If you ask one of these companies that tests for and mediates for radon, if you don't have your house tested and mediated right away, you're probably going to die tomorrow. Seriously. No, not seriously. But that's the scare that they put into it. So anyway, they asked to have it treated and we did it. The thing is with radon, a lot of things can affect the readings that you get. The weather being the big one. If it's wet, if the ground is saturated, if it's raining, if there's low barometric pressure, your readings are going to be askew to the high side. And I wasn't paying attention when they came to do inspections. They didn't say they were going to set a radon tester. So when I came home and it was in my basement, I was like, oh crap, because that happened to be, it was rainy. It'd been raining for 3 days. The ground was saturated, nowhere for the water to go. It was sitting on top of the ground. Really, there was no barometric pressure. It was so low. Everything was against us. And it came out high. It came out like at 6, and 4 is the number that they use. And the weird thing is it fluctuated between like 4 and 1.8, and then at the very end it spiked up to 18 and then came back down. So the average was like 6, and we went ahead and did it, just not to fight it, and because we're just so damn excited to be getting out of here. So the appraisal came back fine. They didn't tell me how much. I didn't ask, as long as it was in value, and you know, they didn't ask for anything. The appraiser didn't ask for any conditions. Conditions are when the appraiser wants something to be fixed. It rarely happens with conventional loans. Happens a lot with FHA and VA loans, and you can read all about that in this video too. That explains the different types of financing and what they involve. But ours came back fine, and right now we're on the downslope. Nothing will come up in underwriting because I don't have any judgments against me. I haven't murdered anybody. I don't have any bad debt, and I don't have any debt. And once the house closes, then we're going to spend 2 days in a hotel room here, and then we're getting on an airplane and going to Mexico City for a couple days, and then on down south to Chiapas. Please subscribe to this channel. It's not like the kind of channel you come back to again and again to be entertained, but by subscribing, you're gonna help other people to find it, and then they too can learn to sell their house themselves and save thousands of dollars. Once you see how easy it is to sell your house yourself, you're gonna be glad to help other people. So hit the subscribe button, and I thank you for that.